Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Matt Samolsky here, Matt the Car Guy. I'm really excited today because right here is a 2020 Kia Telluride, and this one is the Nightfall Edition, one of the most popular vehicles in the country right now, one of the most popular packages that are available on this car, and I have it to walk around, review it, take it for a spin. Now, thanks to my friends at Bearwind Kia, thank you for letting me film it and review it. Guys, if you're looking for a Kia or any other used vehicle, check out their inventory. I'm going to post a link in the description of this video, and they'll help you out with any of your automotive needs. So let's take a look at this beautiful SUV. Now, I've already reviewed its cousin, its sibling, however you want to call it, the Hyundai Palisade, and I really like it. But what people tell me that this one might be even better. So let's check it out. We're going to take it on a tour on the outside, jump on the inside, check the cargo room, the passenger room. Then we're going to take it for a spin and see how it handles on the road. So if you're ready, let's go. All right, so let's take a look at the front of this car. Now, if you looked at the Palisade, if you looked at my review, if you haven't, I'll link it at the end of this video. But I mean, you can see that they're similar, but at the same time, totally different. Now, the Palisade is more polished, more refined. This one, I think, is more rugged, more aggressive, more masculine, more off-road ready, if you will. Now, this one is also dressed in this dark moss green color, and this one has that Nightfall package. Nightfall meaning that the whole grille, the trim right here, the Telluride lettering, the wheels are all black, and that's very popular and very great looking combination. So now you can see the hood. Now the hood, it's got this nice sculpted, and it's got those two lines that are going across the hood, which adds to this masculinity of this vehicle. Big grille. Now this one has this black Kia logo right in front of here. No chrome on this one. Normally you'll see some chrome, some polished aluminum. No chrome. This is all nice and green and black. This is the only two colors that are on this vehicle. Now, big headlights. Now these are the LED running lights, which are actually orange. Now turn it on, you'll be able to see they're actually orange all around it, and LED lights right in the middle of it. Now this is based off the EX model of the Kia, which is kind of at the high end, but not the highest. And it's very nicely appointed. We'll check it out on the interior, but let's take a look at the side of this car. If you've seen any of my previous videos, you know that I like square SUVs, and the squarer it gets, the nicer it is for me. Like the Jeep Wrangler or the Hyundai Palisade, which I really like. I don't know why. It's just because when they first came out with the old SUVs, they were really square, and I kind of took a liking to them, and I like this one a lot. So anyways, on the side, nothing crazy. Nice straight body lines, you know, big windows all around, body colored door handles, body colored mirrors with the LED turn signals on. Now this one has a 20-inch wheels. Those are the black wheels, part of that Nightfall package. Normally it comes equipped with 18s, but then you can choose to upgrade it to the 20-inch. Now normally this is chrome, this is black on that Nightfall package, which really complements the look of this particular dark moss green color on the exterior. Roof rails on top, in case you want to put some roof rack on top of it, you can do that as well. Let's take a look in the back. Okay, so that theme, that rugged theme, continues in the back of this car. Now you can see it's got all this blackout Kia Telluride all-wheel drive and the EXV6 logos right here. Big, nice, bold, visible taillights. These are LED taillights. Love the design of it. They kind of pop. You can see that, and especially in contrast with this color, they're absolutely awesome looking. Reflectors, lights right here, and this one has a exhaust on one side. Towing package, and the towing capacity, I'm going to put this at the bottom. Let's check it out and let's see of how much room we have in the back. Now this also has the new key. And check it out, there's only one button on it. Really? No buttons on here. Here they are. These are your buttons to open, lock the car. Let's open the gate. Well, let's take a look and see how much room is in here. And there's quite a bit of room. There's actually over 14 cubic feet of room in here. So I'm gonna fold down the seats and see how easy or how hard it is to fold them down. That's easy. 1, 2, 3, done. Okay. See, now with all the seats folded flat, you have tons of room. You have tons of room for your Costco run, or if you go to Home Depot. I'm not sure if it's gonna fit a plywood or drywall or anything like this. It looks like it's too narrow in here, but there's plenty of room for many of the long objects that you might want to bring home with you. This is that cargo area, and this is pretty nice cargo area. This one is where you can hide stuff, like from your kids or your wife or whoever. Okay, so what powers up this thing? This is the same engine as on the Palisade. It shares the engine with the Hyundai, so it's a 3.8 liter V6 engine. It's non-turbo, it's naturally aspirated. Produces about 290 horsepower, 260, somewhere around there, pound-feet of torque. So this is pretty much in range with the rest of it, and this is great. I mean, I have very little tolerance for manufacturers charging $40,000 or over $40,000 and still having this little prop stick on it. How hard is to put those nice hydraulic lifters on it? This is awesome. I mean, this is how it should be, right? It's paired with the 8-speed automatic transmission. I assume it's going to drive very similar to the Hyundai, which I absolutely loved, but we're going to check this out because it might be a little bit different. Who knows? But before we do that, let me show you how this engine looks. Okay, so the engine looks like the engine. Nice and clean. There's nothing too extreme or too fancy about it. However, the one thing that I want to point out, because this is interesting, of how low it sits. See, underneath that level where the hood closes, see how low it sits. So that helps, and that should help with the drive of this vehicle, with the lower center of gravity. We'll find out when we drive it, but before we do that, let's check out of what's on the interior. Now, I want to point out too how big these doors are. I'm not sure if they're any bigger than on some of the other ones. They just look big, and there's got to be a ton of room to get in. And another feature here that I also like is this shade, and I always compliment any manufacturer who has those shades in the back seats, because that makes so much difference, especially when you have kids and you want to protect them from the sunlight, or you simply want to keep more privacy even for your passengers in the back. So let's see how much room it has. Oh wow, this one, I don't know if it's me, am I getting shorter? I'm 6 feet tall, and feels like I'm getting more room. Now I'm going to jump in the seat right next to it, because that's where I have it adjusted to the way that I normally sit. And I don't know if you can see me. Hello, hi. Yeah, no, there's plenty of room. There's probably more room in this car than in any other car. This is the second row seat. Those are 2 captain chairs, which is part of this package as well. Now, these are adjustable. Yes, they are. So you can move them front and back, and you can actually have tons of room. Very nice, very comfortable. Also, the seats recline nicely. So I wouldn't mind being a passenger in this car. Tons of room too, headroom. Look at this. I mean, I have plenty of room in the back. To get in the third row seat, you simply press this button right here. That's it. Okay, and now you have all this room to get in. But before we get to the third row seat, let's check out the second row. Now this one has some pockets inside of in the back of the seat. It's got a little netting in here. We can throw something in here. I know what I would put in here. I'd put a phone in here, because you know what, normally if you put a phone in here, then you're going to be looking for it for a long time. Nice little hook on the seat, and the USB chargers are actually in the back of the seats. Now this particular model does not have the rear AC controls, which, you know, if I were to complain about something, I would like that, because the passengers then can set their own temperature in the back, but not a huge deal. Okay, so to get into the third row seat, I already showed you how it's done, and nice, easy peasy getting in here. If you're already on the passenger, you'd have to like close that down, and we'll run into the same as pretty much any other midsize SUV. When you have the seat all the way pulled back, which that gives me quite a bit of room in the front. Now this is not very comfortable, but let's check something out. Let me move this a little bit and let me lock it here. Okay, so maybe a little bit more. Okay, lock it another notch here. Okay, that leaves the passenger in the back plenty of room. That gives me just enough room to fit in fairly comfortably. I still don't see 3 adults sitting in here. I mean, that would be really, really tough. But out of all the vehicles that I've tested so far, as far as the mid-size SUVs, this one definitely is the closest one to where you want to go on a trip in the third row. Vents for the AC right here. This is a must-have feature. I mean, it's incredibly hot in here, so it's gonna cool off relatively quickly. Plenty of room comparing to the competition. When I was looking for the climate controls for the back, I was actually looking at the bottom, and you know what? They are right here on the top. So the only complaint that I had about this car just went out the window, right? And these were great. Whew, it feels good. Kia, you are a winner in my eyes so far, and I haven't even get to drive this car and I already like it. Well, I think it's time to see where the magic happens and check out the cockpit or the driver's seat, the infotainment system, and then take it for a spin. So of course, before we get in here, let's do the sound check. Nice, solid. Now I do have a key in my pocket and the car is running. That's why if you hear that beep, that tells you that, hey, you know, the car is running, the doors are closed, but there's no key in the vehicle. It's actually something that most of the vehicle have, and this is just to remind you that, hey, you left the vehicle running and you ran off with your key. Let's go inside. Okay, before we go inside, let's check out what's on the door. So nice trim. This is a wood looking trim. Now this actually complements the exterior, and the blackout color really nice. It's kind of like this dark wood grain, but it's like smoked or gray out almost. Now you have your seat controls, you have your mirror controls, you have your actually not seat controls, but you have your window controls, you have your locks, mirror controls, and the seat lock and unlock button, which was on, by the way, when I was stuck in the third row seat. So what kind of stereo it is? Oh, this one says Telluride, so I mean, it actually branded is the name of the car. The steering wheel, typical for Kia. I mean, this is a nice leather trimmed steering wheel. It has the big infotainment system right on the side of here, and this is the bigger screen that Kia has. And Kia opted out to stay with the regular shifter versus the push button transmission like on the Hyundai, but it looks very good. Actually, this interior looks very good. It looks very different though than the Palisade, which is its cousin, and I think it's smart for the company. It's actually one company, that Kia and Hyundai, that's the same company, it's just two different brands, and it's very smart for them to come out with two vehicles that are based off of the same platform yet are completely different, because that's going to appeal to a whole wider variety of people. Okay, so the steering wheel first. Big Kia logo right here. Now what do we have here? This is for your phone, your different modes. Ooh, let's turn that off. We don't need that. But okay, so that controls your screen in the middle and different modes as far as the radio. Okay, now we're learning together, because this is really the first time I'm reviewing a Kia, and I read up about this but never actually played with it myself until now. So what's on this side? This is a cruise control, and these are the different pages. So now this is where you control this section of the screen right here, and I would bet that the same info can be accessed through that middle infotainment system. We're going to check it out. But you have basically the compass, the system off, so this is basically for your lane keep assist. You have your door, so let's see what we can check in here. Automatically lock, automatically unlock, to press unlock, power lift gate. Okay, power lift gate, speed, interesting. Now we're in fast and normal mode. Okay, so if you're one of those impatient people that need to liftgate to open up faster, here you go. Smart liftgate. Lights, one touch turn signal. I actually like that. Okay, let's go back. Sound, welcome sound. Let's turn it on and see how it sounds. Convenience, rear occupant alert, we have that, which is actually pretty useful. I mean, if you are leaving the vehicle and you forgot that you have your child in the back, people are so distracted right now on the phone. Hey, I forgot my kid in the car. What? Wireless charging, you can turn that on. Wiper lights display, auto rear wiper. Okay, so that could be turned on just in case you go and starts raining. Icy road warning, gear position pop-up, wireless charging. Okay, so everything is turned on. Service interval other, fuel economy reset. Okay, so temperature unit, fuel economy unit, tire pressure unit. For those of you everywhere else in the world other than the United States, you can actually see the proper Celsius. You can reset all of it. So this is pretty cool settings, very simple, and I'm going to see if you can find that on that big infotainment system, because this one is kind of small, but it is there. So I mean, you have the speedometer on the right hand side, tachometer, then you have your temperature gauge and your fuel gauge. That's it. That's your analog display in here, nice and clean. Right here you have rear gate opener. You can turn off your traction control off. You can turn on or off your lane keeping assist, blind spot monitoring, and you have your adjustment for brightness on that instrument cluster. Okay, so let's move to the middle here, and this is where the infotainment is. This is a touch screen, okay, and this is how cool it is. So now you have 3 sections of this infotainment system, right? So you could see those 3 sections. Now I push the navigation turns on the whole screen. So let's go back and see what else is here. So this one, and I apologize, but this one has this sticker on it, and it's not my car, so I'm not going to remove it, because the customer who buys it might want to remove it themselves. So you can customize what you have in this front screen, but what you have is your navigation, this is your radio, and this is your weather. They can do the map, navigation system. You can select the different ways of you can put in the navigation. See, here's the emergency. Okay, so this is an interesting and pretty useful features. Okay, because if you're driving, and especially if you're somewhere where you haven't been before, you want to know where the police station is. So you just hit navigation and then you hit emergency, and it will show you a list of police stations, hospitals. See if there's one nearby. 250 feet away. I better be quiet then. Nah, I'm not doing anything wrong. Okay, so let's go back. So different route systems. I'm actually going to turn that on when I'm driving, so to see how that works. Radio, so you do have your regular AM, FM, XM radio if you have a subscription, and you have the HD radio. Okay, so that's free of charge. Media. No media source, so if you pair your phone or you actually put a Bluetooth or anything that has a music on it, like a USB stick, you'll be able to use that. Seek and track, that's for your radio system. See, edit widgets, that's where you can select different widgets. Driving info, driver talk, so you push it and they actually, instead of having a weather, you can have this. I got it. Okay, so there's a clock, and I think this is going to be a best feature. There you go. Now we have a clock and we have driver talk. Talk now. Attention passengers, the weather right now is 85 degrees and sunny. We are approaching our final destination and we will be landing soon. Thank you for flying with Telluride Airlines. This was awesome. What it does, it basically projects your voice to the rear speaker. So if you have kids sitting in the third row seats and they're doing their own thing. They're not really paying attention to what you're saying. They don't want to pay attention to what you're saying, and especially if you're not screaming, they will not know what that is. You just turn that on and it will talk to them. You will talk to them through the speakers in the back of this vehicle. Pretty cool feature. All right, what else we have right here? So right here is your controls, and this is where I was switching when you were map and navi, radio, media, and so on and so forth. This is your hazard lights, and this is your control for the climate control. So you have your temperature settings, you have your passenger temperature settings. You can set them the same or separately, however you want it. If you have a button to sync it, actually. So let's say I'm going to set this up at 71 and sync it. That passenger will adjust to what the driver is, and then you can hit the auto, and all three different zones, which means the front, the rear, right and left, will actually adjust to the same mode. And you have your heated steering wheel right here. Of course, this is your start and stop button for the vehicle. This is your heated and ventilated seats. So let's turn on the ventilated seats and see how that works. Okay. Now this is normally not white. I promise you, this is this trim, like piano black, that basically it's this shiny trim that you can see everything if you ever touch it or if you ever put something on it, and it scratches off really easy. So if I were to replace something, that would definitely be one of those things. So you can see you have your regular 12-volt power outlet, you have your USB, and you have your USB charge here, as well as you have your wireless charging right here. And that of course can be closed, which is nice. As I mentioned before, Kia opted out to stay with the traditional shifter, which is pretty nice, and therefore it does not have the shifters by the steering wheel, but it does have the ability to go into manual mode when switching to the left, and then you can go up and down. That basically adjusts the gears for you. So if you prefer to do it this way and you're having a tough choice between this and the Palisade, then the Kia Telluride is for you. What else we have here? Now you have your diff lock right here, so you can lock your differential if you're in the off-road mode. And then you have three different driving modes. You have comfort, if you just want to chill and relax. If you're feeling a little bit more adventurous, you can put the sport mode, and then you can put the smart mode, and it all shows up right here. So eco mode, that's if you are feeling a little bit more eco-friendly, like if you want to, you know, eliminate pollutions. Snow mode. Move back really quick in here because I want to show you there's two cup holders right in the middle here, and then there is a something holder right here that's not sure what that is. You know, it's kind of an additional little storage space if you want to put your pens or pencils, if you carry those around with you. Now there's grab handles right on both sides. Now this is your storage compartment. Okay, so you have quite a bit of storage in here. It's pretty deep. I don't think it's as deep as on my Pilot, but it's deep enough. And this is nice and wide and comfortable, which, speaking of the materials that are used in here, so I think it's all quality materials. You can look at this contrast stitching on the seats, and this is not even that Napa leather. This is just a standard leather. You see, it's got those perforations right here because those are heated and ventilated seats, but it also has those stitches that are contrasting very nice with the black leather on here. Now the trim that I showed you on the door, it continues throughout the car right here, and it's very nice. It's not shiny. I'm not sure if I don't like shiny stuff. It's not shiny, and it's different, but it blends in with the interior of this vehicle. And you have your glove box, nice size glove box right here, and over here this is a soft to touch kind of a fake looking leather trim, but it's very nice to the touch as well. Okay, this one does not have a panoramic sunroof, but it does have the regular sunroof. So if you want the panoramic sunroof, you have to go with the trim up. Now this one is an EX trim with that Nightfall package, and this one lists just over $44,000. So it is a little bit less than a couple of the, like the Honda. That's about the same as the Honda Pilot that I reviewed, which is a touring version. It's a little bit less than the Palisade, but the Palisade was the limited one with a few more features on it, and it's quite a bit less than the Toyota Highlander, and it's just a little bit more, about the same as the Mazda CX-9. So that definitely falls in the same range. I'm really excited because I really liked the Hyundai Palisade, and I'm liking this one as well. Now I'm not sure, I'm kind of more of that I guess luxury kind of guy, so some of the features in the Palisade appeal to me, although I'm also loving that rugged look of this. So this would be a toss-up. This would be a really tough choice. Let's see how this drives, and before we do that, I'm going to check out two things. I'm going to check out the rear view camera first. So even though we have this sticker on it, I can see that the quality of it is very nice. Okay, let's take this off for just 1 second. I'll promise I put it back. And does it have the 360? This one does not, but I believe it might be available on the top of the line model. But anyway, so the camera is nice and the guides are there, so you know, will help you get into a tight spot. Steering wheel is very nice to the touch and very comfortable. Okay, as promised, I'm putting that cling sticker back on it. Okay, and what we're gonna do is first I'm gonna check out the turning radius, and once I do that, I'm gonna set up the navigation, and I'm gonna try to confuse that navigation a little bit because I'm gonna go the other direction. So turning radius first. Okay, see how it is? This is a parking lot that's, you know, it's fairly wide, but let me turn the steering wheel all the way, and there you go, we're going. Okay, can we make a full circle in that parking lot? Yes, we can. So it is a very tight, very nice turning radius, especially for the car this size, and nicely done so far. Also, you know, it is a pretty rough street, or the parking surface, and it handles those bumps quite nicely. So let's take the navigation, let's put the address. Okay, so I'm gonna put the emergency, and I'm gonna find the Kia dealership because that's where I took it from. So by the way, Bearwind Kia, there you go, it's 0.8 miles away, it's right here. I'm gonna try to confuse it a little bit. Start guidance, and we're going to go the other direction.
Then the route guidance will start.
So setting up really nice, really high on this vehicle, it gives you a great visibility on all sides. And when I looked around the exterior of it, I told you it's got those big windows, and it certainly shows the on the inside. You can see really nicely, even turning around, how much light there is getting into this car. Rear view mirror, okay, there's really nothing in the way. I mean, you can see quite nicely of what's in the back of you. Now of course, if you had people sitting in the third row seat, that would be obstructed, but you know, we don't have people sitting in the back seat. Okay, so it's recalculating.
Turn sharp left onto Joliet Avenue and then turn left.
Okay, so it recalculated pretty quickly, and it gives you that kind of a split screen. And remember, if you didn't watch my Pathfinder video, I really had an issue with the split screen because it was small and it was not very good quality. Plus, it didn't tell me of what I have to do unless I was watching the screen constantly. Now, this one already told me that in a half a mile or a quarter mile I have to make a turn. And as we approach it, I'm sure it's going to tell me again. But I will then turn the guidance off, and we're gonna try to speed it up somewhere in
Turn
here.
sharp left onto
There you go. So it's
Joliet
telling me
Avenue and then turn left.
to do that and see if I can actually go right. I really like the visibility out of this car. I really do. Right, so it is a big truck, so that's one of the things that you'll have to kind of get used to it. However, I like the way that it's sculpted, that it's square, because you can definitely see the corners of it, and that's where your vehicle ends. So that's going to be easier to maneuver to see if you're gonna hit the curb or anything like this. So this is a pretty nice feature. I gotta tell you, slow speeds, great. There's no, I mean, this feels awesome. It drives awesome. I can't get over the visibility. For some reason, it's better than on the Pilot. It's better than on the Highlands, even better than on the Palisade. It's crazy. All right, there's a speed hump. Let's see how that's gonna handle that speed hump, and that's pretty cool. I didn't go, you know, with high speed or anything like this, but definitely handled it well. So we're getting to the faster route. Unfortunately, there's no expressways around here, so I can't take it on the expressway, but I would at least take it on the little bit faster road and see how the pickup is. Although, like I said in other SUV reviews, this is not the most important thing. However, you want to be able to merge into the busy street or into the expressway. So listen to this. Okay, it can definitely move, and it can definitely merge onto the expressway, and that was from basically a solid stop. Got it up to some miles per hour, so it's definitely a good move. So I don't know what 0 to 60 is. I would assume it's somewhere in the 7-second range, like most of the other SUVs. But the 290 horsepower with the V6 engine, you know, this is a non-turbo engine that feels really, really solid. It doesn't feel like it's lacking any power, and doesn't feel like it's struggling when you're accelerating, which is an important thing. So to sum it all up, you know, I took it for a quick spin. The agility, the turn radius, the bump handling, it's really, really nice on this vehicle. It feels good. I don't know what to complain about. Let me try to find something. Well, that shiny trim on here, I don't like that. I probably would like to have like the rear entertainment system. If you know, we're going on the road trip, kids love it, so I would like to have that, but I'm sure it's an option that's available, and you know, we're still not comparing the highest end model on this vehicle as well. Power seats in the back, the power folding seats, now that would be, you know, pushing it. None of the mainstream SUVs have it. So awesome truck. Really well done, Kia. And this Nightfall package with this moss green exterior, it fits perfectly, like perfectly. This is the Kia that you seen on the picture on the off-roader. By the way, it won the SUV of the year, SUV of the world, you know. So really, Kia outdone themselves, and it's the first this size SUV from Kia. They had the Sorento, they still have it, I believe, which is a 7-passenger, just really cramped inside. It's a nice SUV, but nowhere near this one. So no wonder they're falling off the shelves. As a matter of fact, I had to rush here because they have some customers who are coming in that are interested in this one. Pretty much most of the other ones were sold out. They're getting shipments daily and weekly. So if you are looking for one, and if you want to check out Berwyn Kia, you can call my friend Victor over there, and I'm gonna put a link below so you can check out their inventory and see what they currently have in stock. But definitely if you're looking for a midsize non-luxury SUV, this would be one of the top contenders in my book. Hopefully I made it a little bit easier for you if you're looking to purchase the vehicle. But if you like to talk about cars, if you like to listen about cars, and if you like this type of videos, I love making them, and I love when people watch it. I love when you leave some feedback. You know, put a comment below. If you like the channel, hit like and subscribe at the bottom of this video. Hit that little bell button on the side just to make sure you get some notifications. I'll try to review as many cars as I can. I mean, I spent tons of years in this business, and I still enjoy everything about cars. I truly get excited when the new model of vehicle comes out. So hopefully going to be able to project that onto you with this channel. So I'll see you in my next video. Cheers.